Welcome to a new podcast of Klüber Lubrication. Today we want to introduce you to the lubrication of e-bikes. My name is Julius Fuchs and I'm Market Development Manager for Drive System Manufacturer. With me today is Matthias Kaufmann, who is Power Transmission Specialist working for the Freudenberg Group. We both invite you to a journey through the world of lubrication in e-bikes. In 3 parts we will discuss how lubricants can affect the e-bike's range, its service life and its noise emissions. Matthias, before we start our discussion, do you drive an e-bike?
Julius, thanks for the kind introduction. And I actually don't ride an e-bike because I just have 6 kilometers to my workplace. I did some test rides with e-bikes and was quite impressed, as I am a big scooter and motorbike fan as well.
I totally agree. I had the same experience when I tested the e-bike of my father. And I think this is a general trend. People of all ages get excited about e-bikes if they use it just for transportation within big cities, as sport equipment, or to climb on a mountain for a comfortable tour on the weekend. There's a huge increase in production of e-bikes, especially since last year. The competition on the market between e-bike and component manufacturers increased, and a rising demand pushing them to develop extremely power-dense drivetrains. But what does this have to do with specialty lubricants, Matthias?
Julius, you already mentioned the drivetrains. They are the heart of an e-bike and our focus in this podcast. Besides that, we also see a potential for specialty lubricants in the battery packs. There are electrical contacts and also seals.
Okay, cool. So let's start with the drivetrain. Which types of motors can be found on the market?
Yeah, we have to differentiate between mid motors and hub motors. There is a huge variety of mid motors on the market, and most of the times we deal with them. Hub motors shall not be neglected, as many OEMs follow this design.
If we disassemble such a mid-motor, we have a geared motor, a freewheel and some other smaller components. The geared motor is the most important part for us. Which constructions do we usually face on the market?
Yeah, normally we see 2 to 3 stages of spore gears, and that's needed for the right transmission of the e-motor revolutions. For lower power densities, we see lots of plastic gears or a combination used of plastic and steel contacts. For the high power density, like drive units on the markets, they are just steel gears used, and we can see more helical gear designs.
Now, you mentioned already several criteria which are decisive for the choice of the right lubricant and the right lubricating grease. How can a grease extend the service life of an e-bike motor?
Yeah, to extend the service life of a gear motor and the gear wheels, the reduction of the wear is a key for success. And of course, we have to reduce the wear on the one hand, and on the other hand, the electronic components shall not be harmed.
I see, so adhesion is a big topic.
Exactly. And how can we determine the adhesive strength of a lubricating grease?
If we grease the tooth flanks of a gear, temper it and rotate it at constant speed for a defined duration, we can measure how much of the grease remains on the gear. This is a clear indicator for the adhesion. So speed, temperature and consistency have a significant impact. Matthias, let's give our listeners a hint which greases show the best results.
Yeah, so many grease tests that we performed at Klüber Lubrication, they prove that a consistency grade of NLGI2 shows the best results. This is like the consistency of a peanut butter. And most important is this effect for steel gears, more important even than for plastic gears. Normally steel gears are used, like I mentioned before, for higher power densities. So there is a very high demand on the lubrication and wear protection.
If we're talking about wear protection, which product concepts would you highlight?
Yeah, we already mentioned the consistency. So there we recommend an NLGI grade of 2 and to maintain the grease in the loop point, because therefore you can avoid damages caused by staffed lubrication. And for the high efficiency of the e-bike drivetrains, we need low base oil viscosities. So the base oil doesn't help that much with the wear protection. That's where additives come into play. And we use balanced anti-wear additives in our grease concepts. And we prove that our grease concepts work on the FTG slow speed wear test, which is our development tool.
So this shows that many different grease concepts can work, and it always depends on the specific design and used materials. In this first part of our podcast, we learned that wear protection and adhesion of lubricating greases can positively affect the service life of an e-bike motor. In the next part of this podcast, Matthias and I will talk about range extension due to the right lubricant. So we are looking forward to welcome you again.